Uh, Good morning, all of you. We are group number 17, 17 from ICT department. I'm Aditya Bandara. Today we are going to present you our final presentation of our statistical and analytics module. Our topic is impact of social media on mental health among peoples of Sri Lanka. So let's move on. Uh, First of all, I would like to give you an introduction about our research. So our research is explores the impact of social media on mental health among peoples in the society with the pervasive influence of social media in today's digital age. Understanding its effect on psychological well-being is crucial. So, also, the study employs a mixed method approach, combining quantitative surveys and qualitative interviews. Some of that are combined in them to examine the relationship between social media usage, emotional responses, and mental health outcomes. So finally, our findings aim to shed light on the unique challenges faced by people in Sri Lanka, providing insight for better mental health support and intervention. So let's move on to the next part. So this is our problem. There are some few problems in our research. Then we got solution for that problems. We can see in the further slides. Let's move on with the problem section. Our research addresses the significant mental health challenges faced by people due to social media usage. People are constantly exposed to idealized images and lifestyles. These days are going through an AI technology that's the most dangerous according to this era. So leading to feelings of inadequate and low self-esteem. Cyberbullying and harassment on social media platforms cause several emotional distress, while the pressure to maintain an active online presence increase stress and anxiety. Additionally, financial burdens related to higher education exacerbate mental health issues, especially for people from lower income backgrounds. These days we can hear some news on the papers and the social medias also according to this issue. Although social media can provide mental health resources, these are often underutilized due to lack of awareness and stigma. People may resort to ineffective self-help strategies, leading to isolation. Socioeconomic and cultural factors further influence access to mental health support, with diverse backgrounds affecting people's experience and resource availability. In Sri Lanka, cultural context plays a crucial role in shaping these experiences, necessitating tailored strategies to address the unique challenges faced by peoples. This research aims to understand these issues comprehensively, informing better mental health support and interventions. I think you can able to understand what is our problems. Uh, we are doing this research among those problems, and we got some answers for the problems. You can see further slides. What are those things? So let's move on to the next part. Yeah, this is our main objective part. So I can explain what is our objective. The objective of our research is to examine how social media usage affects people's mental health, focusing on psychological well-being, social comparison, and cyberbullying. Mainly, we are focusing on psychological well-being and social comparison. And also, we aim to identify factors that influence these relationships, such as socioeconomic background and cultural context, and evaluate the effectiveness of mental health resources available on social media. Our goal is to develop recommendations for enhancing mental health support system and inform policies and interventions tailored to the needs of people in Sri Lanka. That is our main objectives. So let's move on to the next part. So this is our hypothesis. We mainly selected three hypotheses according to this is our research. So let's talk about each of these. The first hypothesis is exposure to negative or hurtful content on social media is significantly associated with increased levels of anxiety and depression. The second hypothesis is the type of content followed on social media, positive or inspirational versus a mix of positive and negative, is significantly associated with users' overall mental well-being, as previously said. The third hypothesis is awareness of mental health resources on social media platforms is significantly associated with users' interest in receiving information about mental health resources directly through these platforms. This is our main hypothesis. So let's move on to the results part. So this is our first hypothesis result. Let's talk about independent samples of t-test. This is our group statistics. So let's break down of the table. The groups are defined by the frequency of encountering negative hurtful content on social media. You can see the daily and never fields are also included. And our questionnaire is, how often do you encounter negative or hurtful content on social media? You can see there are 41 samples in daily and four samples in never row. Both means are identical. The similar average response to survey questions according to that. Standard deviations, daily standard deviation is 0.447, indicating a higher variability in responses among those who encounter negative content daily, and also never is 0.240, that indicating less variability among those who never encounter negative content. So let's talk about standard error mean. The daily represents 0.070 represent 0, that representing the standard error of the mean for the daily group, and never represents 0.120 T0, the standard error of the mean for the never group. So let's talk about the evaluation of this. The first one is sample size imbalance. Highlight the significant difference in sample size 41 versus 4, which could affect the reliability of this comparison. You can see there are 41 versus 4 samples in this group. The second one is the mean score. Point out that the mean scores are identical, suggesting that on average, both groups report the same level of anxiety or depression after using social media, according to our analysis. Then third one is variability in responses. Discuss the difference in standard deviations. Nothing that daily encounters with negative content results in more varied responses. You can see 0.447. Compared to those who never encounter such content, you can see 0.240. Standard errors. Let's talk about standard errors. As explained that the standard errors for the never group is larger compared to the daily group. You can see the comparison, likely due to the smaller sample size of the never group, indicating less precision in the estimate of the mean for the never group. So let's move on to the implications. Emphasis is that despite of the identical mean scores, the higher validity among the daily group may suggest different experiences or perceptions of anxiety or depression within that group. Caution should be taken in interpreting these results due to the small sample size in never group, which is limit the generalization of the findings. That's okay. Let's go to the next our data sample, that is a independent sample test. Let's break down the table each one by one. First one is Leven's test for equality of variations. If indicates the value of Leven's test statistic is 0.927, and the p-value is 0.341. It is greater than 0.5, indicating assumptions of equal variance is not violated. The solutions are presented equal variance assumed and equal variance are not assumed. You can see degrees of freedom, equal variances assumed 43, 27, sorry, 27 equal variance not assumed is 25%, 25.892. T statistics, both scenarios are identical. You can see significance of two-tailed. Those are the identical. The main difference is no difference between the mean. There is also identical. The standard error difference, it is a minus. It is a 0.001 difference between error difference. The 95% confidence interval of the difference is both are identical, and lowercase are both identical, and uppercase is 0.001 difference. So let's talk about the evolution. The start by explaining that Leven's test indicates the no significant difference in variances between the two groups. So we proceed with the assumption is equal variances. Second one is the t-test results. Highlight that the t-test results show t-value of 1.022 and the p-value of 1.023, indicating to significantly difference between the groups, mean score of feeling anxious or depressed after spending time on social media. Okay. Let's talk about implications. Emphasis that encountering negative content on social media daily does not appear to significantly affect whether individuals feel anxious or depressed compared to those who never encountered such as content based on this sample. Considerations. Acknowledge the limitation of small sample size in never group. No, not the equal variations as not group. Avec the power of the test. So our sorry. So my part is over. I would like to invite Vindu to carry on our presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Aditya. So let's move on to the result of our hypothesis 2, which investigates whether there is significant difference in the perception of social media content between two groups of people. So we divide the participant into two groups based on their responses to whether they encounter mix of positive and negative content on social media. The first group we label as maybe includes 6 participants. The second group we label as no includes 257 participants. As we can see from the table, the mean score for the maybe group is 1.33 with a standard deviation of 0.816. For the no group, the mean score is significantly higher at 2.84 with a standard deviation of 0.537. So let's see independent sample t-test explanation. So before performing the t-test, we conducted Levin's test to the check if the variance between the two groups are equal. The test returned a significant value of 0.154, which is greater than 0.05, indicating that we can assume equal variance for the t-set. So result of the t-set, looking at the t-set for equality of means, we have two scenarios. One assuming equal variance and one not assuming equal variance. In both cases in the t-set result, how significant difference between two groups. So when we assume equal variances, the t-value is minus 6.731 with a p-value of less than 0.001. The indicator is statistically significant difference. The mean difference between the group is minus 1.511 with the 95% confidence interval ranging from minus 0.953 to minus 1.069. So even when we do not assume equal variances, the t-value is 4.50510 and the p-value is 0.006. So still indicating a significant difference. Here the mean difference is the same, minus 1.511 with the 95% confidence level interval ranging from minus 2.367 to minus 0.655. So in the both scenarios, the negative t-value suggests that the mean score for the maybe group significantly lower than the no group. The means that student who answered no and counting a mix of positive and negative content have higher mean scores compared to those who answered maybe. So I'm going to hand over to Supun to talk about hypothesis 3. Thank you.
Okay, let's go into the result of hypothesis 3. You can see the tables also. In this hypothesis 3, examine whether awareness of mental health resource on social media influence the interest in receiving information about these resources directly to the social media platform. When we move into the this group statistics table, this table shows the average interest score of two groups. One group is aware of mental health resource on social media and another group is not aware. This means interest score for those who are aware 1.77 as you can see, and for those who are not aware it's 1.94. You can also see that also. And when we moving to this independent sample test, this result compare the interest in receiving mental health information between those who are aware and those who are not aware of such resources on social media. According to this t-test, decision is based on this t-test result. We fail to run the null hypothesis because this decision is that the p-value, which is 0.316, is greater than the standard significant level of 0.05. This means there is no significant difference in the interest in receiving mental health resource between those who are aware and those who are not aware of these resources on social media. Finally, the value leading to decision, the key value leading to the decision is the p-value of this two tail is 0.316. Finally, as a summary, I will tell you this t-test result suggests that being aware of mental health resources on social media does not significantly influence the interest in receiving information about these resources through our social media platform. Okay, let's move going to our next slide. Next slide, conclusion. In conclusion slide, our study emphasizes how social media affect the mental well-being of Sri Lankan people. We found that exposure to negative content related to higher anxiety and depression level, following positive content seem to boost overall mental health. Also, knowing about mental health resources on social media increases interest in using them. These findings stress the need for tailored support to counteract social media negative impact on mental health among students. And we have three recommendations. Promote digital literacy, increase awareness, establish supportive environment. Okay, let's take one by one. In the promote digital literacy, integrate digital literacy module into the university curriculum to empower students with critical thinking skill for responsible social media use. Increase awareness. The original organized awareness campaign, workshop and resources to educate students about the potential impact of social media on mental health and academic performance. And establish a supportive environment, create dedicated, I mean, tech-free zone, tech-free zone on campus where a student can focus studying without distraction from social media or relevant electronic devices. Tech zone, uh, use tech-free zone areas. And thank you.